Okay, welcome back to part 2. Here we go. What are we going to do? We are going to match our sentences with the tenses. Now, the first thing that I have to do, if I have a question like this, I need to identify the main verb. So I'm asking myself, I did this week's grocery shopping on my home computer. In my first sentence, what is the main verb? Who am I talking about? I'm talking about I. So I is going to be my subject. I what? Did. That's my verb. And what? I did what? I did the week's grocery shopping. The week's grocery shopping, that will be my object. Okay, now that I have identified my subject, my verb, and my object on my home computer. So I look at did. Did is verb 2. There is no other verb in the sentence. So we know that this is going to be a simple sentence because there's only one main verb in the sentence and there's only one verb in the sentence. So I'm looking for the ones with simple and simple. So immediately I can throw out continuous tense. It's not going to be continuous because I only have one verb. One verb, so I have to choose perfect simple. I know the perfect tense is to have plus verb 3. So it's definitely not that one. So the only one that's left is B. Okay, next one. I hadn't been, had not been. So that will be perfect tense. So this is going to be B. This is my perfect, had plus past participle. And to be plus verb ing will be my continuous tense. Continuous tense. So to review, we have simple. Simple use verb 1 or verb 2. Then continuous. Continuous is to be plus verb ing. Perfect is to have plus verb 3. And perfect continuous is to have plus been plus verb ing. Okay, and those are the things that you absolutely need to know. Okay, that's just theory. You just have to memorize that. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. Choose the correct form of the verb past simple or past continuous. Choose past simple, past continuous. Past simple, past continuous. Okay, again, I'm going to use my highlighter to select just because it is easier for me. And I think it looks better on camera. So they fell or they were falling in love when they worked in Rome. So we ask ourselves, which one is the long one? The continuous tense is going to be a long action. And the past simple is going to be a short action. Bang. Okay. Right. So which one was the longer action of the two? Well, obviously they were in the process. They were busy working in Rome. So they were working in Rome when they fell in love. She read quietly in a room when suddenly the lights and she. So what is the long action? She was reading in a room when the lights went out and she heard bang, bang. So I'm reading, and then boom, very, very suddenly, boom, the lights are out. Boom, I hear somebody scream. So that will be the boom, boom action. That sounded wrong. The bang, right? Let's call it the bang, like the Big Bang Theory. Okay, number three. Didn't you meet or weren't you meeting your wife while you lived or were living in Italy? So again, we ask ourselves, which one is the long action of the two? That would be living. So we were living in Italy. So didn't you meet your wife while you were living in Italy? Didn't you meet your wife while you were living in Italy? Number 4, I saw you in the park yesterday, or I was seeing you in the park yesterday. You were sitting with your arms around Tom, or you sat with your arms around Tom. For the same question, we ask which one was the long action? The moment that I see you, or you sitting on the bench? Well, you were sitting on the bench with your arms around Tom. That indicates to me a long time, a long time. So I saw you, bang, I saw you. You and Tom? Really? Like that. Number 5, why didn't they visit, or why weren't they visiting me when they were staying in London? So we ask ourselves, why to visit? Visit is a short action because we are staying in London. Again, which one is the longer one of the two? We're staying, that's the long action. And why didn't they visit? Why didn't they visit me when they let me just quickly think about this one. Just one moment. Let me just think. Okay, so I just quickly looked this up in my Blue Book of Grammar, which is an amazing book to have. And yes, the long action is were staying. So that is the action that we will use when they were staying in London. Why didn't they visit me? Okay, so that's why I always rely on my trusted Blue Book of Grammar. Right. Number 6, what did you write? What were you writing when your computer crashed? Again, we ask ourselves, what was the long action happening? So the long action was the writing part. Writing is faster than crash. Anybody had a computer crash on them? You know, it's just bang and the computer dies. So what were you writing when your computer crashed? What were you writing when your computer crashed? Okay. For the next one, we are asking ourselves which one of the two actions in the sentence happened first. Which one of the two actions happened first? Okay, so I drove to the house, but Kathy had left. Kathy had left. What we are going to see when we have two actions in the past, right? So this is now, this is where we are now. I had an action happen, and I had another action happen. Okay. And the two actions happened both in the past, but the one action is before the other action. They are separated from each other in time. So this is almost like the past tense of the past tense, right? So past, the past, if you want to think of it like that. It's not 100% good to think like that, but it is a great idea to see how the actions happen. We know that the one that goes back the most is going to be past perfect. And the other one is going to be simple past. Okay, so looking at that picture, we're going to keep that picture there. Again, in the test, in the exam, if you want to draw these pictures for you, you are more than welcome to do that. Okay, so I drove to the house, but Kathy had left. Past perfect, that's had plus verb 3. Okay, had plus verb 3. So I can see that if I have to highlight all the past perfect ones, Kathy had left. Number 2, the class had started. We had just finished painting the fence. She had been walking home. So those are my past perfect actions, okay? So those are all the past perfect actions. When I look at them, they are the ones that happened first. First, and then after that action, we have the second action. Okay, so this one is first, the past perfect is first, and then after that comes the simple past. So let's see. Kathy left first, then I arrived. Yes, absolutely true. Absolutely true. First, I arrived. No, no, no. First, the class started, then I arrived. I was late. So that one is not true. Number 3, we had just finished painting. First, we finished painting, then it rained. Yes, absolutely. That is true. And first, she started walking home, then the storm began. Yes, first, she was walking home, then the storm began. Okay, so those are your correct answers. Those are the correct answers. Okay, now let's go to question number 4. Question number 4 is also about mixed tenses. And as we continue studying English more and more, this is becoming very important because, look there, which happened, true or false? I forgot to highlight that. I'm sorry. Now, question number 4. Complete the sentences. And now I have past simple, past perfect, past simple, past perfect. So I'm using this same picture up here. I'm going to use the same picture to guide me in answering these questions. Again, I have said this many times before. Again, if you are using these notes, how wonderful, how absolutely wonderful for you to use these extra notes. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's have a look at our questions. Number 1, complete the sentence with the past simple, the past perfect forms in the bracket. So we're looking for the action that happens first. I didn't ring him because I had forgotten his number. So what happened first? First, I forgot his number. Okay, and then I didn't ring him. Just because this is in the negative form, just stop a moment, slow down and think about it. So the first action would be, I forgot his number. Number 2, he not pass his driving test. He drive, when he drove from San Francisco to LA. So which one happened first? Well, he took the test first, then he didn't pass, and even though he didn't pass, oh, this is a naughty boy. He drove from San Francisco to LA. That's very naughty. Boys and girls, please do not drive without a driving license. Nakab, don't drive without a driving license. Number 3, he had the cat walk 100 kilometers to its old home. So what happened first? First we didn't know, or first the cat walked to his home? Well, first the cat walked to his house, and then we were like, I cannot believe it. How did this happen? Number 4, she only hear about the interview 3 months after she applied for the job. So what happened? She only hear after she applied. Oh, so the apply part is the oldest of the actions. When he first go to Moscow, he traveled abroad. So what is it? First he go to Moscow, or first he never traveled abroad? First he never traveled abroad, and then to break that action, he went to Moscow. They not watch the film because they see it before. Which one? They saw it before. So that is clearly the oldest of the actions. That's a surprise. I not know you two. met already. Okay, so I don't know or you meet already. Which one happened first? First you met and then I got to, wow, you actually know each other. So that one is the oldest. And then the last one, they married for 5 years when they first child. So first they got married for 5 years. Here they got married. And then there was a break of 5 years. And then they had the baby. Okay, so the marriage was first. Okay, now that I know, now that I understand what is going on in the sentences, it is so easy because I'm just going to put had plus the past participle. So had not, hadn't, past, ed, when he drove to San Francisco, from San Francisco to LA. Number 3, he didn't know, just simple past tense. He didn't know how the cat had walked. So she only heard after she had applied. He first went to Moscow. He had never traveled. Here you can use with one L or you can use the British spelling double L. That's really up to you. No problem there. Then number 6, they didn't watch the film because they had seen it before. What a surprise. I didn't know. I didn't know you two had met already. They had, the past participle of be is been. So had been married. They had been married for 5 years when they had their first child. They had been married when they had their first child. Okay, again, for all these had, for all of them, you can use the apostrophe D. Okay, that's fine. Right, let's go to the last question. The last question. Question number 5, where is it? Okay, there we go. Question number 5, stop and read. Rewrite the sentences using the passive. Now, for the passive tense, we have 5 steps to follow. So from active to passive, I follow 5. Identify, subject, verb, tense, and object. Okay. So this is the tense, the verb and the tense. Number 2, object to the front, then plus to be, tense equal to number 1. So the tense must be the same. Then number 4, verb 3, and number 5, complete. The sentence. Complete the sentence. Okay. So somebody broke my glasses. Somebody, I don't know who this is. So I'm going to delete the somebody. Who? Somebody. Broke what? My glasses. Somebody is my subject. Broke, that's my verb. My glasses is my object. Object goes to the front. So my glasses, the verb to be, this was broke, verb 2. So I put in to be in verb 2, the same tense. Be careful for this one. This is where I see, when I work with passive voice, this is where I see most people make mistakes with the tense of the sentence. That's where most people make mistakes. Okay, right. So my glasses were broken. My glasses were broken. Next one. He didn't come because nobody had invited him. Who are we talking about? He, that's my subject. He what? He didn't come. That's my verb. Did not come. Did not come. That's negative, and that is simple in the past. So past simple tense. So that's verb 2. Because nobody had invited him. He didn't come because he had not been invited. He had not been invited. Okay, so for this part of the sentence, let's look what happens. This part stays the same. Okay, that part stays the same. Your problem is here, nobody, subject to, had invited, that's a verb. Had, past perfect, right? Past perfect. So what happens here? Had invited him, had not been. Okay. The past perfect of the verb to be is had been, negative, had not been, invited stays invited. Somebody had left the lights on. Who? Somebody, that's my subject, had left. Oh, past perfect again, past perfect again. So it will be had plus been plus verb 3. The lights had been left on. The lights had been left on. Somebody told me about it yesterday. Somebody told me about it yesterday. Who? Somebody. Somebody what? Somebody told. That's verb 2, past simple tense. Who? Me. Me, when me goes to the front of the sentence, it becomes I. I. Past tense of the verb to be was. Verb 3 of told is told. Tell, told, told. So I was told about it. About it yesterday. I was told about it yesterday. Did the ambulance take you to the hospital? Did take, that is verb 2, so past simple. So it's going to be was and were plus verb 3. So were you taken? Please, guys, this is not tooken or tooked. If you don't know the verb 1, 2, 3 of the English verbs, especially the irregular verbs, you can look them up on Google. You can just type in irregular, spelled like this, irregular verbs in English, and it will give you all the answers. Okay, so Google is your friend. Whenever you have problems and stuff, always use Google. Now, always use Google. Okay, number 6. Nobody gave them any information. Nobody gave them any information. Who? Nobody. Nobody what? Nobody gave. That's verb 2. Gave who? Gave them. That's my object. Object goes to the front, so them becomes they. Past tense of what the verb to be is was or were, so they were. Nobody. This is an interesting word. Nobody is a negative word, okay? So when you replace this in the passive, you must end up with the same idea. Remember, context, context, context. Again, context, context, context. It's all about context. A word alone has absolutely got no meaning to you when a word stands alone. So it's all about the words in the sentences, the meaning that goes with the sentence we call semantics. Semantics. Okay. Now, because this is nobody, nobody is a negative word, right? So when I write my final sentence, I must end up with a sentence with a negative meaning as well. So they were any information. Now, I know that this part is going to stay the same. So how can I go from they were given any information? Let's look at the two sentences if I just do it like that. Okay, so now I have nobody gave them any information. Did they receive information? No, they didn't. In my sentence, what I have now, they were given any information, which is also grammatically incorrect. There should be some information. But in the second sentence, the people were given the information. So we see that the moment that we go from active to passive, we changed the meaning of the sentence. So in this case, the way that we are going to get rid of this problem is by putting our negative word in there. They weren't given any information. They weren't given any information. Okay, and that concludes video 1. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you have a lovely day. Study hard for the midterm. And remember, as always, if you have any questions, please let me know. Let me know. You can let me know via line. I will write down my line ID once again. It is teacher, small letters, all of it small letters, Jackie, IE, _ RBEP. So that is my line ID. If you have questions about your scores, about your midterms, about anything, please let me know and I can help you. Have a good day, everyone, and see you in our next video. Bye-bye.